Hello guys, my name is Shahram Moradi and today I'm gonna talk about the methods of storing renewable energy as a main and critical challenges in today's industry. Over the past decade, prices for the solar panels and wind farms have reached all-time lows, leading to hundreds of gigawatts worth of new renewable energy generation. As the saying goes, though, the wind isn't always blowing and the sun isn't always shining. If, for example, it is a beautiful sunny day and we've got a super abundance of electricity, we can't use it. So the question of how to form renewables, that is ensuring there is always energy on demand, no matter the time of the day or weather, is one of the biggest challenges in the industry. We need a good way to store energy for later. The main option right now is the lithium-ion batteries. You see them in products like Tesla's home battery, the Powerwall, and utility scale system, the Power Pack. But though lithium-ion is dropping in price, experts say it will remain too expensive for most grid-scale applications. To get to battery for the electrical grid, we need to look at a further cost reduction of 10 to 20x. So right now, lithium-ion batteries just can't store more than 4 hours worth of energy at a price point that would make sense. Plus, they pose a fire risk and their ability to hold a charge fades over time. To address this, there is a cadre of entrepreneurs experimenting with a variety of different solutions. But let's talk about the alternatives. Now we are seeing flow batteries, which are liquid batteries, and we are seeing other forms of storage that are not even chemical or battery-based storage, and each has serious potential. We looked at materials on the periodic table that were actually going to be cost competitive from day one. Primus Power's flow battery is a workhorse. Thermal energy storage has a pretty unique opportunity to be extremely low cost. Another solution will last 30 plus years without any degradation in the performance. Which technologies prevail remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, for renewables to truly compete with fossil fuels, we need to figure out a better way to store energy. From 2000 to 2018, installed wind power grew from 17,000 megawatts to over 563,000 megawatts. On the other hand, the solar power grew from a mere 1250 megawatts to 485,000 megawatts. And it is not stopping there. Renewables are expected to grow an additional 50% over the next 5 years. We know today that solar PV and wind are the least expensive way to generate electricity. As solar has gotten cheaper, so too have lithium-ion batteries, the technology that powers electric vehicles, our cell phones and laptops. And thanks to improved manufacturing techniques and economies of scale, costs have fallen 85% since 2010. One of the main alternatives being explored is a flow battery. Unlike lithium-ion, flow batteries store liquid electrolyte in external tanks, meaning that the energy from the electrolyte and the actual source of power generation are decoupled. With lithium-ion tech, the electrolyte is stored within the battery itself. Electrolyte chemistries vary, but across the board, these aqueous systems don't pose a fire risk and most don't face the same issues with capacity fade. Once they scale up their manufacturing, these companies say they'll be price competitive with lithium ion. Primus Modular Energy Pod provides 25 kilowatts of power, enough to power 5 to 7 homes for 5 hours during times of peak energy demand and 12 to 15 hours during off-peak hours. They use two tanks instead of one, which every other flow battery has, makes the system to be able to separate the electrochemical species by taking advantage of the density differences between zinc bromide and the bromine itself, and the more aqueous portion of that electrolyte. However, many of those flow battery technologies still suffer from the same fundamental materials cost challenges that make them incapable of getting to tens or hundreds of hours of energy storage capacity. Currently, about 96% of the world's energy storage comes from one technology, pumped hydro. This system is pretty straightforward. When there is excess energy on the grid, it's used to pump water uphill to a high elevation reservoir. Then, when there is energy demand, the water is released, driving a turbine as it flows into a reservoir below. But this requires a lot of land, disrupts the environment, and can only function in very specific geographies. Energy Vault Company, a gravity-based storage company founded in 2017, was inspired by the concept but thinks it can offer more. Instead of moving water, Energy Vault Company uses cranes and wires to move 35-ton bricks up and down, depending on energy needs. In a process that's automated with machine vision software, the company says a standard installation could include 20 towers, providing total of 350 megawatt hours of storage capacity, enough to power around 40,000 homes for 24 hours. Then the last one is thermal storage. It's still an emerging technology in this space, but it has the potential to store energy for longer than flow batteries with a smaller footprint than gravity-based systems. Basically, when there is excess electricity on the grid that's used to heat up the cheap carbon blocks, which are insulated inside a container, when needed, that heat is then converted back into electricity using a heat engine. Typically, this would be a steam or gas turbine. I hope you enjoyed this video.